Well, Andrea was in a very big trouble. She knew that her decision was a very important one, and because of that, she had asked her mom and her best friend for her opinions. But now the problem got just bigger. Those two opinions were completely opposite to one another. You see, my friends, although this is a an experience from real life, this happens every single day in the lives of people around the world. We are in front of a very important decision, but we don't know exactly how to overcome the obstacles or how to make the right decision in regards to what we are in front of. I'm going to tell you a story that will illustrate that into your real life. Please come with me to the book of Acts, chapter 27, verses 9 through 11. Paul the Apostle was sailing with a lot of men, and he was being delivered to Rome. Now, there was a storm, a big storm that you and I have talked about before in this channel. Let's read from the scriptures in the book of Acts, chapter 27, verses 9 through 11. Here's what the Bible says. Much time had been lost, and sailing had already become dangerous because by now it was after the Day of Atonement. Those of you who don't know about it, the Day of Atonement, the famous Yom Kippur, was around September or October, depending, late September, early October, depending on what happened. In that particular year, it was in between late September and early October. That was the season of storms, and that's the reason they were talking about the sailing being dangerous. So Paul warned them, man, I can see that our trip is going to be disastrous, to bring great loss to ship and cargo, and even to our own lives. But the centurion, instead of listening to what Paul said, followed the advice of the pilot and the owner of the ship. See, my friends, oftentimes when we want to make a decision, we ask for opinions from our friends and we get a little puzzled about the differences of opinions between our friends. Oftentimes we think we should go one way and then we hear somebody else we should go the other way. It is very important for us to understand that in this particular story that we're studying today, Paul had received a warning from the Lord and counsel from above in regards to what they should do. But Paul was a nobody. He was just a prisoner. But the owner of the ship, was an important person. The pilot was the leader of the whole thing. So the centurion decided not to listen to Paul, but to listen to the owner of the ship and to the pilot instead. You see, my friend, if you are a young person who's seeking advice in regards to what to do in your life, perhaps you're facing a significant decision. You're choosing the person you will spend the rest of your life with. You're probably choosing the career you want to embrace for the rest of your life. Perhaps you're making decisions that are more spiritual than anything else. You're deciding what is the religion you will embrace, or how often will you pray? How often will you study the Bible? Which investments would you do? What kind of job would you take? My friends, in every single situation, you need to ask the Lord what is right and what is wrong. Let me guide you to verse 21 just to give you an idea of what happened next. Verse 21 says, after they had gone a long time without food, Paul stood up before them and said, man, you should have taken my advice and not sail from Crete. Then you would have spared yourself this damage and loss. I have been in ministry for quite a few years, and I have noticed that some people come to me for advice, and I am nobody to give advice to anybody, so I don't like giving advice. But in a couple of times, in a couple of occasions, I have felt in my heart like it's coming from the Lord to tell them that they should go this way or the other. And sometimes they follow the advice, and oftentimes they don't. And as the years do go by, I come back to those people and I realize that they made the wrong decision. My friends, today, remember that God is always right, and you've got to follow God's advice. If you do that, no matter what's the size or the nature of your storm, you'll be fine. May the Lord bless you today in your challenges.